Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now today, as you can see on my desk right here, I have the Redmi K40 Gaming Edition, but today I'm going to talk a bit about the Poco F3 GT. Now this device is actually a mirror of the Poco F3 GT and I've been using it for a couple of days now, and here's a few reasons why I think you might want to wait for the Poco F3 GT to appear before actually making your next smartphone purchase decision. Now before I begin this video, I just want to say thank you, a huge shout out to my friend Erica, who is actually selling these devices. He is the one who actually provided me with this device right here for me to check out so I can share my experience with you guys. So if you want to find out more about Erica, if you're in Malaysia and you're looking for your next smartphone, check out down in the links below. Now bear in mind that this video is just my personal opinion on the upcoming Poco F3 GT. I know that this device here is going to be quite an affordable device. Based on pricing I've seen in India, it starts at about like RM 1,500 to 600-ish. So it's definitely going to be very affordable and it's positioned very much at the gaming community. But before I talk about that, I also want to let you know that if you are not a gamer, you should also take note of this device right here because it offers a lot of performance for the amount of money it's asking. Poco is blowing it away again. Right, so let's talk a bit about this device here. As you can see on my table, on my desk right here, I have all my devices, my Poco F3, the X3 Pro, the X3 GT. So you can see that I am a very avid user of Poco devices and these are all very familiar to me. So let's talk about this device right here for now and why I think you should actually hold up your money for this one. First up, we're going to take a look at the design. Mine is this Bruce Lee edition here. So it's going to be very flashy, but you can always opt for the silver version that is coming out. That one looks really sleek. Another thing you need to note here is that I would think the build quality is a slight upgrade compared to the Poco F3 here because it does comes with these aluminum sides all around and it's very solid, guys. It feels good in hand. So notice on the sides here, we actually also have these shoulder triggers which you can just activate by sliding on the buttons right here. Very convenient to use and also very useful if you are a gamer. At the back here, this little camera cutout here does house an LED notification, and if you charge your device, which I'm going to show you very quickly right here, if you put that in right here, notice that this thing will actually light up. So it's very cool. Notice that this color here is also RGB, so you can actually choose what color you want to show up on the back here, which I think is very cool. Okay, so enough about those RGB stuff. At the bottom here, you do get your Type-C charging port. You also get your dual stereo speaker cutouts, which is very nice here. Take a look at that design, guys. It's very flashy. At the top, it is also a similar shape for that speaker at the top. Very nice. And at the front here, you have a very clean design here with that tiny camera cutout in the middle. So if you want to take a look at this front as well, notice that the bezels here are quite symmetrical. And I'm quite surprised again because on the Poco F3 right here, it is not that symmetrical, whereas on this guy right here, it is actually quite symmetrical. So yeah. Alright, so now that I've talked a bit about that design, again, I'm still very impressed with what Poco is doing here. It does look very flashy, but I like it quite a bit. Alright, so now let's talk a bit about that display at the front. Right here, we are getting the 6.67-inch AMOLED display here, which is 120Hz refresh rate. That means it's very smooth. Apart from that, you should also know that it supports 480Hz sampling rate, so it's ultra sensitive as well, especially if you are a gamer. In fact, I tend to accidentally do a lot of touches around here because it's just so smooth, guys. Just take a look at this. It literally just glides all over. It is so smooth. So I think you will definitely enjoy this display here because it is just a very good display coming from Poco right here with the F3 GT. Alright, now let's move on a little bit to performance because that's where it really differs from the Poco F3 right here. Now in terms of performance, this guy right here is rocking the Dimensity 1200 processor, and in terms of gaming, it does really fly, guys. It is a very strong gaming device. So I've got a couple of games here like I mentioned, and I've played a couple of games. It is indeed very smooth, but I did notice that temperatures tend to go a little bit higher than my Poco F3 right here. In fact, just to show you guys what it performs in terms of benchmarks, let me just show you very quickly the Geekbench right here because I have it already. So if you just take a look at this side by side right here, do notice that the Poco F3 actually scored a bit higher than the Dimensity 1200. I'm actually quite surprised at that result because this is the Snapdragon 870. It still outperforms the Dimensity 1200 just in terms of the Geekbench scores. But you should also take note of the 3D Mark test that I did here. It actually shows very consistent levels of performance right here. And again, side by side with the Poco F3 right here. Notice that the amount of the score is actually very similar to the Poco F3, but on the Dimensity 1200, you notice that it is just much more stable compared to the Snapdragon 870. So this is just benchmark scores, just to give you an idea of a reference on how your gaming performance might turn out. But overall, I think in terms of gaming, it just flies. One more thing you need to note here is that the global version might come with just 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, although my device here is rocking 12 gigabytes of RAM, so that's a huge one here. But yeah, that's something that you should take note of. Overall, performance guys, this is nothing short of spectacular. Everything is very fast, super smooth to launch. Just take a look at that launch time guys. So everything is also super fast. If you just browse a lot of social media like I do, Facebook, everything is very quick. Instagram obviously also loads up crazy fast. It scrolls faster than you can see. Of course, YouTube as well. Just look at, at all these launch speeds guys, and yeah, it is just very quick, a very quick device right here. Alright, so now the next thing I want to talk about very quickly here is the cameras that we have here. So we have a triple camera setup which is led by the main 64 megapixel sensor. Now that is slightly higher than the Poco F3 that only has 48 megapixels. And yes, on the Poco F3 it wasn't a great camera, but I would say that it is much more improved on the Poco F3 GT right here. You're getting a better camera, so pictures taken during the day and night would look a little bit more sharper, more detailed, and definitely more pleasing to the eyes. And of course, much better for you to share on your social media. So yep, you're getting a better camera here as well. Next thing I want to talk about very quickly is the battery in the back here. We do get a 5000-ish battery here, but the main story is all about that charger, which I have right here. This is the 67-watt charger that came in the box. It charges up very fast. I think it takes about like 15 minutes to get to 50% or something like that. Very, very fast charger here. So you can expect to charge this up very quickly. Alright guys, so before I go, 2 more items that I want to cover here. The first one is a very important one, and that is the haptics engine on the Poco F3 GT. Now this is using the X-axis haptics engine, and that is actually the more premium and more expensive one compared to the Z-axis. And what this means is that it gives you those shorter, sharper and crispier kind of vibrations that you can find on this device right here. So that's definitely a plus point. Next thing I want to talk about here is very quickly on the audio performance. So audio on this Poco F3 GT here is also very loud. It gets slightly louder than the Poco F3 that I have here. And yes, it is definitely a very pleasing sound here. Overall guys, just to sum up my experience with the Poco F3 GT or Redmi K40 Gaming Edition, if you will, is that it has been very quick. That's my only thing that came to my mind, is fast. So whether or not you're going to use it for gaming, if you're going to use it on a daily, I think this is actually the perfect device here. If you are looking to purchase your next smartphone, you should definitely hold for the Poco F3 GT, see what the price really lands here, and if it's much more worth it, or maybe just 100 or 200 ringgit more than the Poco F3 right here, I would say that you should spend that additional money to get the Poco F3 GT. Alright guys, I know this has been a very quick video. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching to the end again, and of course, stay safe everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!